Back on CBS Sports HQ. I mean, this was an in vogue Super Bowl pick. The Los Angeles Chargers. And they are currently sitting at 5th in the draft order for this upcoming April. Yes, extra game played, extra tick in that loss column. So the Chargers likely to shift somewhere between 5 and 9 by week's end. But by season's end, when looking at the 3 games out in front of them, no telling how high that pick might be. Emory, Hunt, Bryant, McFadden here to explore that very fact. Gentlemen, let's just operate off the assumption that this is going to be a team that loses a couple more games, if not 3 more games, but also going to be situated somewhere in that 5 through 12 range. I know the names and the talent changes in that range, but Emory, give me a name that you like attached to LA. Going to be a lot of change, not just from a personnel standpoint, but from all standpoints in LA. You got a quarterback, and you got to build around him on that big contract. Where do you go?
It's crazy because we've talked about this a lot, how well they've drafted, right? They got the quarterback. They got 3 pieces up front along the offensive line. They got a couple of receivers. They got a great linebacker, I feel like, in Deion Henley. They got a Tuli Tuipolatu, the edge rusher that's been playing talent all across the board. I think they should go corner one more time. Why not Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama? He's someone that does a great job on the perimeter. He can play man coverage. He can match up one-on-one and does a great job in playing the ball when it's in the air. I feel like he would pair up perfectly with what they have in Asante Samuel Jr. So cornerback, to me, on a talented roster is a luxury position, but one that you definitely need. We see these teams now, i.e. the Bengals, go out there with legitimately 3 #1 options at receiver. So why not go and get another lockdown corner? You have someone as Asante Samuel Jr. that can take the ball away. They're throwing at a guy in Michael Davis, number 43 right now. Why not go and get someone that you know can match up?
Yeah, well, for me, as we see it right now, if the draft was to start tonight with the Chargers being at that 5th spot, I think offensive line is the way to go. We saw tonight, even without their franchise quarterback in the lineup in Justin Herbert, they could not protect for Easton Stick. And right now, the Commanders currently hold the 4th spot, and we don't know exactly how things will change between now and the draft. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, guys, the Commanders stay at the 4th spot. Sam Howell is getting sacked right now. And they didn't even have a game tonight. That's how bad their offensive line has been. So I think it's safe to say they're going to add some talent to the offensive line, and they may go get the best tackle in the game in Olu from Penn State. And if that's the case, I go with Joe Alt from Notre Dame, a massive individual. Granted, he's been a left tackle throughout his career there on the college side of things, but I think he has the talent to play the right tackle. You see they got Slater at the left side. When he's been healthy and in his bag, he's been a pretty mainstay player for their offensive line. So now you got a nice duo of tackles, athletic, that can do a real good job in protecting your franchise quarterback. So I think Joe Alt will be the guy in regards to the athleticism that he has. You have to remember, when he went to Notre Dame, he was a tight end. He converted himself into an outstanding left tackle, and since then, he's been one of the more consistent linemen in college football. And I think he would be available there for the 5th spot. I think that's the biggest need for their team, especially, as you mentioned, Joe, if you're trying to grow with Justin Herbert, the best way to get the best out of Justin Herbert is to do what? Have a nice line for him to have the luxury of working from when he's throwing these dimes that he usually throws on Sundays.
It's funny because that's a great pick, B-Mac, when you think about Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. Zion Johnson, the guard from Boston College, does a great job. Trey Pipkins has played well this year, to be completely fair. Sellier from Georgia is another good offensive lineman. You get Corey Lindsey back. So, yeah, you can go any direction if you're the Chargers because they've drafted well. But adding someone like Joe Alt, now you think about maybe Slater can play left, and B-Mac touched on this guy was a former tight end, so he's already used to playing on the right side. Could slide in perfectly on the right side, booking ending Salter.
It's just an odd intersection because it's a roster with more talent than the wins they have right now, so they will be picking high, but you got to have the right people in place to bring all that talent together. Bryant, McFadden, Emory, Hunt, talented in their own right. Thank you, gentlemen. And don't forget, for all your draft needs, join our guy Ryan Wilson, his running mate Rick Spielman on With the First Pick. They break down the future of the league tomorrow, today, each and every day. You'll get it a few times a week at least. Download, subscribe, and enjoy With the First Pick.